You know those people, right? The ones who just seem to live on the very edge of statistics. The folks who walk away from a plane crash, survive something that should have been impossible, or, win the lottery against all odds. We just call them lucky. But what if there's something else going on? Something more than just pure chance?
What if fortune isn't really about the crazy events that happen to us, but instead it's all about how we see them, and this is the big one, how we react to them? Okay, let's really dive into this, because if this is true, it pretty much changes everything we think we know about luck.
To get to the heart of this, we're going to look at two absolutely incredible stories. On one side, you've got Frayne Sherlock, a guy who basically had a season pass to near-death experiences. And on the other, Anne Hodges, a woman who went through something so cosmically rare, it's literally one of a kind. Their lives couldn't be more different, but their outcomes, well, they teach us something really profound about what fortune actually is.
So let's unpack these stories. We're on the hunt for a hidden pattern, some kind of thread that can explain how two people faced with just unbelievable circumstances can end up on such completely different paths in life.
First up, Frayne Sherlock. He was a music teacher from Croatia who became famous as the man who danced with death. And somehow, he always led. I mean, just look at this. The sheer absurdity of his life is kind of hard to wrap your head around. It's just one disaster after another. A train plunging into a frozen river, him falling out of a plane and landing in a haystack, escaping a car seconds before it goes up in flames. Any one of these things would be a defining tragedy for most of us. For him, it was just what happened. And then, like a cosmic punchline, he wins the lottery. It's so easy to just slap the label good luck on it, but that feels way too simple, doesn't it?
So, what was his secret? When people would ask him, his answer was always incredibly simple. He'd just say, "I just lived." People made up the rest. And that quote, it tells you everything you need to know. His pattern wasn't some master plan or a superpower. It was a reflex, an instinct. Just keep going. No overthinking, no deep existential crisis. Just carry on. Okay, now let's flip the coin completely. Let's talk about Anne Hodges. Her life was also touched by an event of astronomical improbability, but her reaction, well, it couldn't have been more different. So back in 1954, in Alabama, a literal rock from outer space rips through her roof and gives her a massive bruise on her hip. Instantly, she's a global celebrity, the only person in all of recorded history to be struck by a meteorite. You'd think that's a miracle, right? But the attention, the endless questions, the sheer strangeness of it all, it just overwhelmed her. And so, she shut down. She withdrew from everything. And this is where her story takes such a sharp turn away from Sherlock's. Her unluckiness wasn't getting hit by a space rock. It was the echo that event created inside her. She became defined by this one, totally uncontrollable thing. The question, why me, just bounced around in her head with no answer. And in that void, she just stopped. Her pattern was to withdraw. And this isn't just about these two. Think about someone like Abraham Lincoln. The guy failed in business, lost election after election, and went through unimaginable personal tragedy. But his pattern was this patient, relentless repetition. For him, failure was just another piece of data. Then you have the other end of the spectrum, a mind like Nikola Tesla, an absolute genius who basically envisioned our modern world. And yet, he died broke and alone. His pattern was what you might call focus deviation. His brilliance was so intense and singular that it actually isolated him, making him miss the practical opportunities his own ideas were creating all around him. So, we keep seeing these themes pop up, right? Continuing versus stopping. Repeating versus isolating. It's time to connect the dots and pull back the curtain on the single framework that explains all of it. What is the fundamental mechanism that's really at play here? Because it's not actually about dodging bullets or getting hit by meteorites. It's something much, much simpler and way more personal. It all comes down to this simple three-step loop. First, you've got perception. The thing happens, and we see it happen. Step 2, and this is the absolute key, is the reaction. We choose consciously or not how we're going to respond. And then finally, step 3 is the result, the outcome that we then turn around and label as good luck, bad luck, or maybe even fate. And when you lay it all out like this in a table, it just clicks. It makes perfect sense. Sherlock saw disaster and his reaction to continue. Hodges saw this cosmic anomaly and she just stopped. But look at the others. Satomu Yamaguchi survived 2 atomic bombs. His perception was total annihilation, but his reaction was to accept his duty and tell the story. Marie Curie saw a scientific discovery and dedicated her entire life to it, even as it was literally killing her. In every single one of these cases, the event itself is almost secondary. It's the reaction that writes the rest of the story.
So, at the end of the day, fortune isn't some random lightning strike. It's not something that just happens to you. It's a process, and our destiny, our story, is forged in that crucial middle link of the chain, our reaction. We all experience things, but whether we get stuck in the perception of the event or we move forward with our reaction, well, that difference is what we end up calling fate.
Okay, so what does all this mean for us, you and me? How can we take this amazing insight from these larger-than-life historical figures and actually apply it to our own lives? Let's talk about seeing your own pattern.
First things first, we need a whole new definition of luck. It's got nothing to do with probability or odds. Forget all that. Luck is a way of seeing. It's the skill of spotting a potential pattern in all the randomness of the universe, and then choosing a reaction that actually serves you.
And this brings us to an even deeper truth, really. That moment we call luck isn't a random event, it's a choice. It's where meaning and time cross paths. It's the choice you see in Lincoln's patient repetition, in Selak's simple refusal to give up, and in Marie Curie's unwavering dedication. They didn't just sit around and wait for fortune to find them, they were actively creating it, moment by moment, with every single response.
So, I want to leave you with this one last thought. Random things are happening around us all the time, they're just coincidences. But the second you notice one, the second you give it meaning through your reaction, it stops being a coincidence. It becomes the start of a pattern, your pattern. So the real question is, what pattern are you creating?